I don't think I have to tell some of you in the room that I have been a big advocate on environmental justice issues. In fact, when I was a state senator back in 1999, I carried the first law, SB 1115, that was noted as the environmental justice legislation that was actually resembling, thank you, that actually resembles an executive order that at that time President Clinton put forward to provide protections for vulnerable communities. And I don't have to tell you, if you grew up near a landfill or a mining facility or a waste facility, or if you lived near a freeway that transversed your district or your home, that you were living in one of these communities that we describe in the bill. Too many egregious projects being placed overrepresented in certain areas. And you see that now in East Los Angeles. You see it where I grew up, near the City of Industry, the town of La Puente, where I grew up. And we know that in many cases there isn't enough research being done in terms of health effects and over the course of time what that means. And I say that very deliberately because I know that in the course of where I grew up, there were many of my mother's friends who all worked at one same factory that I won't name. And nevertheless, where we lived, we knew that our water table was polluted, that there was lead, there was other sources of contaminants in the water. Well, fast forward 15 years, and we find that there are a number of our friends in our community and our neighborhood, you could count how many houses down that people had exposure to cancers, different types of cancers. It didn't run as a history in their families, but nevertheless was showing up. And these things continue to happen. And that's something that I think as public officials, if you're involved in zoning, if you're involved in looking at how things are cited in your community, that you should take a look to see where these things are being placed and to see what other, if there are any adverse impacts that might occur with respect to the community who traditionally was there to begin with. And start to look at how we can green those areas, because those areas can be rehabilitated. And that's the other aspect that I want to talk about, that it's important also for us to take ownership of our communities, and to make sure that we can also entrust our elected officials to be stewards, to be more environmentally friendly, and to start looking at smart growth projects so that we can cut down on our commuter trips to go to work, that we have sufficient light rail systems, that we have affordable housing that's now available in town. Maybe it's double layered, but nevertheless it helps to reduce, again, our carbon footprint.